Once upon a time, in a land far away, lived a very wise and forward-thinking king. He knew a kingdom's true strength wasn't just in its mighty army or overflowing treasury. No, it was in the spirit of its people, their courage, their hard work, and their resolve to face any challenge head-on. So one day, the king devised a brilliant plan to teach his sons a lesson they would never forget. Early the next morning, he summoned his most trusted soldiers. "I have a special task for you," he declared. "Take a massive boulder and place it directly in the middle of the main road leading to the city. Then, hide yourselves and observe. I want to see how my people react to this obstacle." The soldiers, though puzzled, obeyed without question. They found a giant rock and with great effort rolled it into the center of the road, completely blocking the path. The king, along with his sons, climbed a high tower that overlooked the road, giving them a perfect vantage point. Soon, the first travelers appeared. A group of the king's wealthiest courtiers, riding in ornate chariots and surrounded by servants, approached with an air of importance. When their procession came to a halt before the massive stone, their faces twisted with annoyance. "What kind of ruler allows this?" One of them scoffed. "Can't he even keep the roads clear? This is outrageous." They grumbled and complained, blaming the king and his administration, but not a single one made any effort to move the rock. After a few minutes of fuming, they impatiently ordered their drivers to turn around and find a different route. The king watched this unfold and turned to his sons. "Observe," he said softly. "They are quick to blame, but slow to act. They see the problem, but believe it is someone else's duty to solve it." After a while, a group of merchants came along, their carts laden with goods for the market. Seeing the boulder, they sighed in frustration. "This is terrible for business." One exclaimed, "We'll be late, and our customers will go elsewhere." Another added, "Someone should really do something about this. Where are the king's men when you need them?" They stood around, discussing who was at fault and how inconvenient it all was. Eventually, like the courtiers before them, they gave up and turned their carts around, choosing the long, winding detour. Next came a renowned scholar, a man respected throughout the kingdom for his vast knowledge. He stroked his long beard thoughtfully as he examined the rock. "An interesting predicament," he murmured to himself. He analyzed the size and weight of the boulder, theorized about how it might have gotten there, and even considered the geological composition of the stone. He spent nearly an hour contemplating the problem from every intellectual angle. He even jotted down some notes. But did he try to move it? No. He simply walked around it and continued on his way, satisfied with his analysis, but having done nothing to clear the path. As the day wore on, person after person encountered the obstacle. Some prayed, believing it was a divine test, and then walked away. Others simply shook their heads and took the detour without a word. A brave knight known for his loyalty saw the rock and immediately galloped back to the castle to report the hazard to the king, fulfilling his duty as he saw it, but never considering that he himself could solve the problem right then and there. The road remained blocked. The king and his sons watched as the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Disappointment was beginning to cloud the king's face. It seemed no one was willing to take initiative. Just as twilight settled, a lone figure appeared on the road. It was a simple farmer, returning home after a long, grueling day in the fields. His clothes were damp with sweat, his shoulders slumped from exhaustion, and he carried a heavy bundle of tools and harvested vegetables on his back. He was clearly weary, but when he saw the massive rock, he didn't complain or turn back. He stopped, set down his heavy load, and took a deep breath. He looked at the boulder and thought, "This is dangerous. If I leave it here, someone could get hurt in the dark tonight. The king can't be everywhere at once. We all have a part to play in keeping our community safe." With that thought firm in his mind, he placed his hands against the cold, rough surface of the stone and pushed. The rock barely budged. He gritted his teeth, repositioned his feet, and pushed again, this time with all his might. His muscles screamed in protest, and sweat poured down his face, stinging his eyes. He gasped for air, his body trembling with the strain. It seemed an impossible task for one man, but he refused to give up. He rested for a moment, then tried again from a different angle, using a sturdy piece of wood he found as a lever. He pushed, he strained, he grunted with effort. Slowly, inch by painful inch, the great stone began to move. The king and his sons watched, captivated, from the tower. Finally, with one last heroic shove, the farmer managed to roll the boulder to the side of the road, clearing the path completely. Exhausted but satisfied, he wiped his brow and turned to pick up his belongings. That's when he noticed something where the rock had been. It was a small leather pouch. Curious, he picked it up. It was surprisingly heavy. He opened it, and his eyes widened in disbelief. It was filled to the brim with glittering gold coins. Just then, the king and his sons descended from the tower and approached him. The farmer, startled, bowed low. The king smiled warmly and placed a hand on his shoulder. "That gold is for you, my good man," he said, his voice filled with respect. "You have earned it." The farmer was speechless. "But ... why, your majesty?" he stammered. "Because," the king explained, "obstacles in our path are not there to stop us. They are opportunities to show our character. While others complained, blamed, or walked away, you saw a problem and took responsibility. You chose to act." Then the king turned to his sons, his expression serious. "Remember this day," he told them. "True leadership, true strength, lies not in avoiding challenges, but in facing them. The rewards in life, wealth, respect, and progress are found not by taking the easy way around, but by having the courage to move the obstacles in your path." This farmer, through his simple act of responsibility, has taught you a lesson no book ever could. The princes stood in silence, the farmer's actions and their father's words echoing in their minds. They finally understood that the path to greatness is paved not with gold, but with the courage to move the stones along the way. I hope you found this story as inspiring as I did. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that aim to motivate and uplift. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.